I could start with the gentleman on the phone, please.
Rick Stacy here.
Thank you.
Todd Jones here.
Bergen.
Johnson.
Commissioner Becker is excused this evening, but may try to call in later. Roll call having been completed, all reports and all business items will be tabled to the next regular meeting. I'd like to move directly to public comment. This is an opportunity for citizens to share their opinions with board members on any topic they choose. However, due to Wisconsin open meeting laws, the board is not able to answer questions or respond to your comments. All comments should be directed to the board. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Speakers are asked to state their name and address. Commissioner Dyer, do you happen to have an iPhone stopwatch, or Commissioner Jones?
Yep.
Thank you. Are there any public commenters this evening?
Excuse me.
Public comment?
Yes.
Please.
Brian Fonz, N8680 Warners Grove Road. With the new businesses that I see on the meeting, obviously I see the blue-green algae bloom with discussion, and then also the upcoming wake surf meeting on October 18th. And I want to talk a little bit about the wake surf meeting first. First, I just wanted to commend the board and the Lake Beulah Management District for the support in doing the work that they did with the summer studies with pterovigilis. I know last winter, the board had noted there hadn't been any information specific to Lake Beulah. We have some of that now, and I think it's important that that we have that. It is consistent with the other studies that are out there, and on behalf of Protect Lake Beulah and the board, we are recommending and being consistent with what pterovigilis has pretty much recommended in terms of wake surfing should not be occurring in less than 20 feet of water and closer than 500 feet from shore. That is actually more of on the minimal side. I think 25 would even be better based on some of the stuff we saw from the divers and other studies, but 20 and 500. Other lakes in the area, Lake Geneva, are 700 feet and 30 feet. 500 feet and 30 feet. Pewaukee, Nagawaukee are 700 feet and 30 feet. Big Green is 40 feet and 700 feet. So by no means are we being extreme in terms of looking to protect Lake Beulah with those parameters. Like I said, the data is consistent with all the other studies. Minnesota studies showed significant bottom disruption at 14 feet, and they recommended 20 feet. So that would be our independent recommendation from Protect Lake Beulah, is we follow the data and we follow the science that we actually did on Lake Beulah, and really not do any less than that. Regarding the blue-green algae blooms, this is 2 years in a row now that we have seen blue-green algae blooms, and I don't remember ever seeing them before, so that is concerning. I think it is a serious issue. It seems like it was more expansive this year. I know we saw it by Wilmer's Point last year. I don't know if anywhere else, but it was South Shore and Wilmer's Point this year, maybe other areas. And we for sure don't know the full cause of it, but I know Bob Nauta at our spring meeting said that, resuspension of bottom sediments will fuel algae blooms, and that is a concern. So I think that's why it's important. If there's any solution, these boats cannot operate in less than 20 feet of water. As far as invasives, I hope the management district and the town board, they take a look at that. Boats coming in from other lakes, being on the lakes, coming into Lake Beulah, using their bilge tanks is a threat. Am I done? Yeah. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Further?
Robert Wagner, West 168 South Shore Drive. I kind of want to follow up on what we were talking about, the 20 feet. In a lot of the studies, the Minnesota study, I believe the Burlington, Vermont study, and there's another East Coast study, reference 20 feet to the top of the weeds. Because with the downwash of the crops is really affecting, the 20 foot isn't the lake bottom, it's really the top of the weeds. So we should be doing 20 feet to the top of the weeds. Whether we got this 3-4 feet, I'm not sure exactly how tall weeds are at 20 feet, but that really should be the minimum. And I do have a video, which I took over last week and last Saturday. The wake boat went by, it was very calm, it was very calm out there. And that wave did not dissipate for about 1,000 feet. It kept coming in and the wave kept breaking. I can show you a video later. I wish I could show it to you now, I have it here on my tablet. If anybody wants to look at it, it's very, very telling on how this wave did not stop. It kept coming in, and kept coming in, and there was a boat, which, like I said, about 1,000 feet, minimum of 900, maximum of 1,100 feet, but about 1,000 feet, and that wave did not stop. It kept coming in and kept coming in. So I think 500 feet from the shoreline is the minimum. I would like to see a minimum of 600 feet and 20 feet to the top of the weeds. Because we don't need, if we're gonna err, let's err on the side of caution. Let's not err on the side of what could let's err on the side of caution. Let's be prudent about this and err on the side of caution. So, that's all I have to say. Thank you for your time. Thank you guys for all the stuff that you do.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Hello, Beth Lanham, W1544 South Shore Drive. I wanted to comment a minute on the blue-green algae. One of the specimens that was recently turned in was from my pier. And I was sent the results per my request, which I very much appreciated, and I appreciated Rick Stacy kind of coordinating that effort. So, and I have no doubt that it was blue-green algae. What I'm looking for, though, the concern with blue-green algae is something called cyanobacteria. And I can't seem to find a result of what was the concentration of the cyanobacteria. So the result seems to be that they just look at pictures and they send them to the DNR. And again, I reemphasize, I have no doubt it was blue-green algae, so I'm not debating that. But I'm kind of surprised that there's not more of a laboratory test. They did talk about looking at it under a microscope, but I'm gonna call the woman at the health department and maybe the DNR lady on Monday. I didn't get the email with the results until about an hour ago. But just a food for thought. And I also am concerned that this is the second year in a row. I have a lot of weeds that have come into my pier with the waves, and it's dissipated now. It dissipated as soon as the wind came up and the lake started moving, but it was pretty substantial when it was there. Thank you.
Mr. Stotts.
I'd like to make a few points. North 8831 Smith Road. As far as if you guys are going to make a recommendation to the board, to the town board, I would hope that you would keep it at a minimum of 25 foot of water and 400 feet from shore. I think the one critical thing is crop wash here. I think most of the shorelines, except in some of the non-developed areas, are pretty fortified. But I think the most critical thing that we have to worry about is the fish habitat, the spawning beds, and things getting washed off the bottom of the lake. So, and as far as you guys, I think you purchased or acquired about 30 buoys-ish, somewhere in there. Might want to place the ones that are regulating the regular boats, like the town currently has them at 200 feet, but you might want to place the new ones and mark them so that they're pertaining to wake enhanced boats. Maybe take a stencil and put wake enhanced boat So if you're operating a lake enhanced boat, you know, that buoy is for you, because they don't want you in shallow waters. But I don't think it's right if you move all the buoys out, or all the buoys in, because you need to make sure you keep that inner zone for your kayakers, your paddleboarders, your other people that want to enjoy the lake, because they have a right to use the lake, just like the lake enhanced boats have a right to use the lake. So I just hope that some thought gets put in, and I don't know if you guys given any consideration, but if you're gonna start placing buoys out at 400 feet, or 500 feet, whatever the town decides to do it at, how are you gonna anchor those to the bottom of the lake? Are you going to put a fixed anchor down there with some kind of system that holds up something where you can just attach the buoy to it? Or are you gonna have, 40 feet of chain or cable to anchor them down to the bottom of the lake? These are the things you might wanna figure out, because I think next year you need to have the lake properly staffed with police and patrol. You need to have the buoys in the right spots, and we need to have some form of a ordinance applied with some teeth in it. Make it a nice hefty fine, because if you can afford a $300,000 or $200,000 boat, you can afford a nice $900 fine to keep you in the right spots. That's just to keep the young people from running wild. That's all I got.
Any further public comments? Going once, going twice. If I could move on to the blue-green algae incident. I think the biggest concern I have here is for public safety. That is why, we got a notice posted to our website. The DNR rapidly confirmed, based on photo identification, the bloom, that it was indeed an algae bloom. They, as was stated by, Bethlehem, they did not confirm any level of cyanobacteria. What they did say, and I thought it's worth repeating, we had blue-green algae in every bit of water. We had essentially perfect conditions for blue-green algae formation. We need to be very, very cognizant that we have to be able to warn, parents of small children who they can't look out for themselves, maybe kids who just don't know what they're jumping into, and folks with dogs. Dogs love to get in the water, and they're the ones who get sick. It gets on their fur and makes them even sicker. So I just think it's really important that we get a notice out. I have to thank John Becker, who was the one that actually promptly got that notice out. I didn't have a lot to do with that. So I'm really happy that it went out. On the subject of concentration, as the DNR also let us know, not a lot. The Walrus County did confirm the presence of cyanobacteria. They did not confirm the level of concentration. There are testing kits out there that would provide a level of cyanobacteria. These are, in some cases, tests that can be run by ordinary citizen monitors in a lot of cases. And I think this board needs to do a little bit of research. They are very expensive. The kit that I've been in contact with Lake Geneva, right now, they've got a few blue-green algae blooms. The kit that they purchased runs around $11,000 right now, but it comes out of Germany, and has a substantial, I think, 15% tariff, but I can't remember exactly what the salesperson told me. He also represented it as essentially the Cadillac product, and that they were less expensive. I was also able to find a continuous monitoring buoy that uses a cellular signal to provide essentially a dashboard report. There's a 1-year subscription for this buoy that would sit out there all summer. It would send us cyanobacteria, pH, and a couple other key lake health indicators. That might be, as far as bang for our buck, something that we would be more interested in and more highly automated. The problem is it's one buoy, and the water conditions in front of Ms. Lanham's house are not the same as the water conditions in front of Johnson's house, or Jess Diane's house, or my house. So that starts to be pretty darn expensive.
Is that the same movie that we were talking about before? No. It's a different one.
The one we were talking about, I found one that costs much less.
Okay. I'm just saying, if you could lump them all together, make more sense.
Right, I think, and there's also essentially a handheld multi-sensor probe that could be operated by, a volunteer that could take regular readings. Also comes with a variety of sensors, but we could essentially recreate most of the testing we currently do twice a year through the USGS. Again, it would be very expensive. But I think we need to take this away, take no action on this right now, but I think we need to do two things. One, we need to investigate whether there's a sensor that's right for Lake Beulah and how to best administer it, whether it's if we have a volunteer staff, the sensor is in an area that volunteer staff can activate in the event of a bloom, so that we can respond rapidly, determine level of danger, warn appropriately. I've also been in contact, and this is the second I know, I think we have to establish a protocol for what we're gonna do when we detect one of these. And that will in large part depend upon the equipment that we have. I've been in contact with Lake Geneva, they will share their protocol with us. Theirs is more complicated, I believe they have 6 municipalities they have to talk to. We do not have that issue here. So that's my proposal on blue-green algae. Any questions?
No, it makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, the thing that, we definitely, like, we're gonna say something that there's blue-green algae here, needs to be confirmed, like 100% confirmed with a test. Doesn't, that was kind of just a feeling call from people.
But the DNR confirmed it. I mean,
Off of a picture, right? No, well, right, yes.
that's how they do it statewide.
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
Okay.
I mean, I actually called the DNR representative because and what she told me specifically is I have 25 years of experience.
That's blue-green.
That's blue-green algae.
So but if we have the resources to actually have it tested through Walworth County, we should probably have it tested beforehand.
Well, I don't know that,
Or no?
I won't speak for Rick, but, I don't know that the Walworth County lab we are entitled to draw upon the resources of the Walworth County lab on demand. Is that the case, Rick?
Well, I think if it's spotted, there is absolutely no problem with getting some vials and, taking them down there and getting them tested, but we wouldn't be able to test every day, 365 days a year.
Right.
But I think if it's a concern, you definitely can look at the county.
Okay.
What is the turnaround date?
They turn it around quickly.
So that's cool. So, and we see something, that could be our first defense posture, is quickly,
Well, send it to DNR, if they say,
Correct.
yeah, this is it, and then we go test it.
within a day and a half, we can get notice of it, confirmed, not, an assumption, but actually confirmed.
And there's people that really know what it looks like, and there's a lot of other people that can look at something and be like, oh, shoot, be scared, and why not, be able to have those processes.
It almost seems like using Walworth should be our first initial response immediately, followed up possibly by additional monitoring as you're alluding to, but that way we get official answers quickly.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
I don't have to, I can talk to you afterwards. I was just gonna say, I think it's very easily visibly recognized. There was no doubt in my mind or anybody else's that that's what it was. It's like a lime green color, it's thick, it sticks to sticks, and there was no doubt in my mind, but I would like to see a concentration. And I would, personally, I have a medical background, I would be glad to volunteer for next year with whatever you guys come up with, as part of the volunteer group. I would be very interested in looking at that.
And maybe we should consider having on our site, a protocol to, whether it's a phone call. Okay, but just to continue to enhance it as the protocol for a quick response.
What about the self-test stuff? Because there are self-test kits out there, and like, I didn't research them enough to where they say they're 99, but who knows exactly? And I'm sure they're way off, but maybe that's the thing, is do the self-test kit. If the self-test kit comes back as positive, then we move to the next action. You know, there's a lot of people that she's been around the water long time, she's a doctor, so like, she has more knowledge than a lot of other people do. Like, you see something green and like, people freak out, they do. So we just have to be careful not to.
I
think we have to actually err on the other side. The consequences of failing to warn about an obvious situation
100%.
are extremely dire.
Yeah, I was down by the launch by my pier and saw Boogie Analogy over towards the launch. And this was 2 days after we heard about the one in South Shore. And the guy's throwing the ball with his dog and things going right through it. And I walked over there and said, hey, you know, they have blue green on the other side. I don't know if this is blue green or not, but I wouldn't let your dog in there. So I agree. That was my main point, is we need to err on the side of caution, because people, usually it's by the launch and people bring their dogs all the time there. Yeah.
The way that I'm looking at it is more on liability. I'm saying that if we say that there's been a blue-green algae possible bloom, or a blue-green algae-like substance that have been out there, until it's tested, we shouldn't be saying it's blue-green algae.
I think we can rely on DNR.
Well, if DNR says it is, then it's a different story.
Well, and the other thing that you mentioned was, that you're in touch with Lake Geneva, and they've already, I think, got a protocol in place, because didn't they have to, it's my understanding, they had to shut their lake down last year because of blue-green algae, it wasn't safe for anybody, so we can talk to them and say, okay, you know, and then maybe we can build off of it.
What's your parts per lake? What's your parameters of?
Okay, I think we need some more study on that before we establish what our actions are going to be. So I'll take one more.
Okay. I wanna focus more on the cause of it. I mean, obviously, blue-green algae can happen in a lot of situations, but some people say weight boats are contributing to it, other people are fertilizer putting in the lawns, which fertilizer probably is probably one of the main things. I do know people that fertilize all the way down the lake, but is there a way we focus more on the cause and not the after effect of it, and just focus on how can we minimize it? It's gonna be something that's gonna happen in certain situations regardless of what we do, but we can focus on more of what's causing it.
I think the key to focusing on cause, so if we do a continuous or more regular than twice a year monitor, we'll be able to identify phosphorus spikes after it rains. And if we monitor in enough areas, we'll be able to roughly identify the source of the phosphorus.
Right.
If on the other hand, we've got phosphorus spikes after the 4th of July weekend, that's a different cause, and it didn't rain all weekend. But I think having understanding of a potential understanding, we can draw some inference, we can draw some correlative inferences, and be very careful about causation type inferences, because we're just making observations.
It was very consistent too. Like there was a lot of lakes that all got.
Oh.
Like it was a big spike all over.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, this may have been a very large bloom on Lake Beulah, but I grew up on Lake Beulah, was a big flow of the Wisconsin River surrounded by agriculture. Lake Beulah, I bet if you went up right now, it looks like you could walk across it. Okay. Are we ready to move on to the town of East Troy
So I, for one, am disappointed, I can deal with disappointment, but we haven't accomplished sort of any action on this issue. I think we're spinning our wheels a little bit, and perhaps we've let a solution escape us for want of a different solution. But I think that, as has been demonstrated by an increasing volume of research, surf boats are causing damage to our lake, operating under certain circumstances. All of the studies are showing damage at depths below 20 feet, with the severity of the damage depending on the bottom composition and the vegetation. All of them show waves produced by surf boats are much larger than those produced by ordinary boating activities, and even boating activities with exactly the same boat, just unballasted and maybe operating at solid speed or water speed. These waves are causing damage to our shoreline and fish habitat.